This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Travel Card portable charger, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So to start things off, you'll see I have it laid out next to a few other chargers. These are chargers that I have personally tested recently, and then another one that we've got just to show some size range here. But with the materials on the Travel Card, we have like an aluminum-like material on the outside. I'm not sure the exact material here, and I wasn't able to find it online. But as you can see, it's kind of got a bit of a shine to it. And it feels durable. I don't think anything's going to get through there or puncture that metal. But it doesn't, I don't know that it looks the nicest. You can see it'd be hard to see the logo there. It kind of reminds me of like a travel company logo. So I guess that kind of works out with it being called the Travel Card. But it is a little shiny. And then you've got the black part here, which is the charger, which we'll see more about when we flip it over in just a second. But overall, it looks fine. It doesn't look as nice, I don't think, as some of the other options down here. The clutch has a pretty big, that's their logo there, and then clutch on the back. And I do think that looks a little nicer because it is kind of matte and black. And this comes in a few different colors, but overall I think the design of the clutch looks a little nicer. And it all just really depends on what you're going for. But I do like these kind of matte designs better than this like shiny. As you can see, look at the light hitting it there. It is pretty reflective, so keep that in mind. But it does come in silver, carbon gray, which is this one. This is the carbon gray model. I had trouble differentiating between the silver and the carbon gray, but this is carbon gray. It also comes in black, red, indigo, and blue. So there are quite a few color options, which is not the case for most of these chargers here. I believe the clutch comes in, I think, 3 colors. I'm not sure about the Goal Zero, and I think the Anchor, you're actually just stuck with black. So it is nice to have some availability with colors on this thing. And with different colors, you might get a little bit less shine because, silver obviously, or carbon gray, sorry, reflects light a bit better, I think, than probably other colors do. Which, as you obviously can't tell from just looking at it, but there is a difference in texture here. This is a little bit more matte, like we were talking about down here. These are matte, but this material is more like matte feeling. Like it's pretty, I'm not gonna say soft because it's metal, but then you get up here and it's more kind of a stickier material. Like nothing's gonna stick on there, but like it's kind of fun to play with, almost like a fidget, going from the rougher to the stickier part over here. But enough about that, we'll flip it over. And back here, it's more like a hard plastic material on the backing of the battery. We've got all of the, information you'd expect to see down here about the battery, and then we've got the capacity, which is 1500 milliamp hours, and then the output of 5 volts dash 1A, and then it is made in China. And then up here, you see the 2 cords. We have the charging cable over here, which is a USB-A, and we have the cable to charge your device, which on this one is a Lightning iPhone cable. All of them come with the USB-A to charge, and then there are 3 options for the charging cable itself. You can get the Lightning, which we have here for an iPhone, or you can get a USB-C or a micro USB. So as you can kind of probably tell, this thing looks a little bit dated. It feels like the early 2000s to me. I'm not really sure why. Like there's just something about it to me that screams like 2006. It's not ugly by any means. It just kind of has that early 2000s feel to me. And it kind of is shown by the fact that they still offer a micro USB version. I know that there are things that still take micro USB. I have headphones and Bluetooth speakers that are micro USB, but a portable charger that has an attached micro USB cable that can't be changed just feels a little bit dated to me, and I think that this charger does look a little bit dated, and I think the battery power is a little bit dated as well. As I said earlier, it's got 1500 milliamp hours, which in today's day and age is pretty low. So like I'll read off my list real quick because I have a little list prepared of what this will be able to get you charge-wise, and that's assuming that you're going to get the 1500 out of it every time. I know that it seemed pretty on par with that when I did charge it, and I did like a little test just with my phone. It was, when I did the math, about 1500, but if you're using your device or if your device is even on, you might not get all the way there. So I'll just read those off really quick. So with this travel card at 1500 milliamp hours, you would get 46.48% charge on a standard iPhone 13. You would get 34.47% charge on a iPhone 13 Pro Max, 37.50 on a Samsung Galaxy S21, and then you would get a 31.25% charge on a Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, 30% charge on the Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, and then 50% on a Nintendo Switch and 50% on the Nintendo Switch Lite. So not great numbers there. If you have, I have a standard, we have a standard iPhone 13 in the office, and a friend of mine has it and borrowed the charger to use it. And under 50% charge for a portable charger really isn't that great. It is nice because you can, top off with it. So like if you're out and about or you're going to on a mini adventure and you're not going to be gone all day, you can bring this with you and top off your charge. But getting it under 50% is not really, it's not that useful with other options that are available. Like just comparing it to the Clutch, because they are a similar size. Like I say most people would probably want to get this because of the size. If you have a standard size like billfold wallet, it'll fit inside the wallet easily. If you have a smaller wallet, like a front pocket wallet, it might not fit. It just depends on which wallet you have. But that's the reason people are buying this, is because it's small, it fits in your pocket, and it's doesn't take up a lot of room. But when you have the Clutch, that's pretty much the exact same size. It is a little bit wider, and it does have a little bit more weight. We clocked in the travel card at 1.65 ounces and the Clutch at, I believe, 2.3 ounces. So it does have a little bit more weight, but in the hand, I really can't tell. This does feel a little bit heavier, the Clutch does, but they're very, very close in weight. So when you compare those two in size and weight, like I said, they're very similar, except the Clutch has 3,000 milliamp hours. So that's still not going to get you a full charge with most devices, but it's going to get you a lot closer to where if your phone died and you just left it on the Clutch until it was fully charged, you're going to be closer to like 80% or something like that, which is a safer place to be if if you're traveling somewhere new and something happens and you go on a longer adventure, you don't want your phone to die. So that is a nice offering. And then if you were to compare it to the Goal Zero, which is kind of a different charger altogether, I mean, it's not flat and like it won't fit in a wallet, but it will fit like if you have a small pouch or something like that, and it still fits in your pants pocket. The Clutch is actually 3,350 milliamp hours, so you get even more charge out of it. You might get almost like a full charge. So just the main reason going over all of this is just to illustrate that the 1,500 milliamp hours that the travel card has, it doesn't seem like enough to me. Maybe for some people it is if you don't use your phone very much, or if you have like an older phone with a smaller battery, you might be able to get by with it. But 1,500, at least for me personally, is not enough. But just to go through another couple of things on the charger, it is, like I said, it's kind of a short cable here, but both the USB-A and the Lightning, they're stuck on, if that makes sense. You cannot change what cable you have, and you can't add another cable. So you can't charge it with anything but the USB-A, and you can't charge anything but with the Lightning cable. The USB-A is a little funky. It's kind of just like the half USB-A, and I have had issues with those in the past. I mean, I know it's not a super common device, but I have had issues in the past when I used to have one for, I think it was like an MP3 player back in the day. It would always fall out of my computer. So I was worried when I first saw this that would be the case, but surprisingly, it stays in better than almost any USB-A that I've ever used. Like if you can rattle it and it does not fall out. And maybe that's just what I was plugging it into. Maybe it had some good grip to it, but I was very happily surprised with that, how well it stayed plugged into the brick. But for this side, I did have a little bit, grab my phone real quick, a little bit of an issue with this when you're charging, because when I'm going to use this, I want this to be flat on the back of my phone like that. If I have it in my pocket, or even if I'm holding it, I can kind of just hold it like this and have it charge. But because this is so short, you almost really can't do that. Like you really take some like finicking, and then it doesn't want to stay there. Like it kind of like moves off. Like I wish it was just even, a half an inch longer, And either way you put it, it's kind of like that. Like it doesn't want to sit like nicely on the back of your phone. If that cable was just a little bit longer, that would be possible. And that's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something I noticed and something I thought that was worth mentioning. Can't get that back on there. So to charge this, obviously you just plug the USB-A in, and while you have it plugged in, there is a little light right here. I'll hit the button. You can see that it's red right now, but when you have that plugged in, it's actually a blue flashing light. So it's just flashing blue slowly, and then when it's fully charged, it'll be blue and not flashing anymore. It doesn't take very long to charge. I think it was about an hour and a half or so, depending on if you run it all the way dry. And then you actually have to turn this on. I know some chargers are like that. The clutches or the Goal Zero is like that too. You have to hit the little button here to turn it on. To turn it on, you have to hit that button as well. So if you plug it in and it's not working, you just have to hit that button and it'll start working. I think that's to make sure that the battery doesn't like trickle down or anything like that. But I also wanted to compare it to a larger charger. So this is an Anker charger that we've had here for quite a while. Let's get these out of the way. You can see the size difference. I mean, it's a lot bigger. This is not something you're going to want to put into your pocket. I mean, I guess you could, but not necessarily going to want to. But if you're not going to put this in your pocket or in your wallet, I don't really see a reason why you'd go with it unless you're just trying to save weight. This is obviously a ton heavier. But if you're just putting it in your pack and you have room in your pack, I'm going to go for something like this almost every time, because this is, I believe, 20,000 milliamp hours. So you're getting a ton of battery out of this compared to the 1,500 on this. So if you need something for your wallet and you don't use your phone all that much, this is a good thing to just have with you at all times, because it is small, fits in your wallet, and it gets you charged up that little bit when you might need a little bit of extra phone time, whether you're, need directions from your GPS or you just need to make a call or something like that. But if you're not going to keep it in your wallet and you are just going to throw it in your pack, I'm not sure that it is a great option for you. If you have a use that I didn't think of, I'd be interested to hear it, because people have recommended this to us. So I'm curious what your use for it is, what you use it for. So drop a comment below if that's the case. But there you have it, the Travel Card Portable Charger. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.